All right, Jump Rope Masters, welcome back again.
We are back.
David Brown, y'all boy, that boy D Brown, y'all already know. I ain't gotta introduce myself again. But
And Rebecca Brown.
I will always introduce myself to you guys.
Pretty much. Might be awkward if we didn't.
Exactly.
Anywho, we're back with another move.
Yeah, so this one honestly is a very fun one. This is one that you can throw in between moves to set up other moves. It's a great
Or
transition.
even if you need a slight break.
Yep, and honestly, this is a move that you can do if you are not comfortable with jumping quite yet. This is one great thing when it comes to jump rope. Jump rope is for everyone, you know, and you don't have to be able to jump in order to utilize the benefits of the rope. So this move is called the side swing. And the benefits of it is it helps with, it helps with hand, foot, speed, and coordination. Jinx.
Hey. Look at us, we're so coordinated.
Yeah, I know, right? It helps with timing, rhythm, balance. Just because, of course, remember how with the basic balance, you know, you're at least shoulder width apart. And how with, you know, you're moving the rope. With this move, y'all see, you know, it'll help with that balance. So getting that center of gravity. It helps with conditioning in this upper body, and particularly your shoulders,
Chest.
arms,
And back.
you know, and of course, you know, remember, you're keeping your core tight, so it helps with that core at the same time. So a lot of core, but most like really big, like too, grip strength. You know, of course, jump rope helps with your grip anyway, just because the rope is twirling around. But this move, I will say, it honestly isolates your grip.
Yeah, you can get a real good grip workout.
We got
Using side
workouts
swings.
with just side swings alone, honestly. And that's why, like we said, it's great because at the end of the day, yeah, it can help with your, you know, as we said, your hand and your foot coordination and stuff like that. But if you can't jump and if you don't have feet, you know, somebody who's an amputee, or if you're in a wheelchair, you know, you can still get the benefits minus the foot. As you can see, it helps with the upper body stuff, and it can help with the grip and all that good stuff, especially when you start whipping this thing. And a heavier rope too.
Yeah, having the heavier ropes can really elevate a side swing workout.
Yep. So without further ado, let's get into the how-to.
Nice. All right.
We got our demonstrator back because, once again, these 3 moves that we went through, which are the foundational moves, is Rebecca's go-to.
My go-tos, yes.
Because she is a foundational individual.
Yes. I don't usually do a lot of like the fancy stuff. I'm like, give me the basics, I'm gonna make it work. Cause really that's all you need.
Honestly, like these 3 moves, the basic balance, alternate footstep, and the side swing, great moves, honestly. And you can get a great workout with just those 3.
Yeah.
With just those 2. With just that one. Like, seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
But let's do it. Everything else is a
anyway.
bonus after this point, guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's go.
So, for our stance, we're gonna have a little bit of a wider, like game ready stance, right? Maybe shoulder width apart.
Toes pointed towards.
12 o'clock.
Y'all already know.
So keep them as straight as possible. We're still gonna kind of have that hinge in the ankle and a little bend in the knee, but we're not necessarily gonna be on the balls of our feet anywhere. We can keep our feet flat, just keep balanced throughout the whole foot.
Yeah, this time you want to possibly have, if you want, since this is kind of an in-between move and you're a little more solid and you're not going to move as much, you can have a solid stance on the ground where your heels are not up. If you want to come off of the ground a little bit more, like into your basic balance stance, you can, but with this move, it's not necessary.
And the biggest thing for this move is really keeping that core tight. So make sure that, again, those hips are above your feet. Really keep that core tight, because this is pretty much the center of this entire move. So keeping that core tight, back straight, shoulders gonna be rolled back, just like how we talked about in the alternate foot. And we're actually gonna start with our hands, you know, still in the grips and whatnot. Elbows are gonna start by our sides. This is our stance for the side swing. Anything to add?
How's your hands? Cause like, and where's your hands?
I'm just keeping my hands right in front of me right now.
So your hands are belly button height for all of our blind and visually impaired viewers, and they're pointing towards the 12 o'clock. Right now, her arms are not out to the sides at 9 and 3. Her elbows are in tight, and the grips are together. You hear the click, right? So you put the grips together in front of your belly button, but you're holding on to them. So your fingers are going to be touching. You're almost like having your fist balled up and right in front of your belly buttons. You're holding on to the grips, and your elbows are still in tight to you, like right there next to your sides. Shoulders rolled back.
So I'm gonna start out with the rope just completely in front of me. You can start out with the rope behind you, and I can show you that as well. But just start out, the rope's gonna be in front. And for side swings, our hands are gonna move in like a figure 8 pattern. But we're gonna swing the rope back and around each of our sides.
I'm going to take a little step back a little, just so she can demonstrate.
Yeah. So help me with my description if I'm not descriptive enough.
Yeah, I got you.
But I'm gonna start swinging our hands to the right, like back and to the right. So the rope is gonna swing pretty much next to me as I'm going to the right. And as it's swinging over, I'm now gonna switch it to the left side. Like, again, in figure 8, as I catch David's rope.
Sorry, I was going through the motion myself back here behind her, and so my rope kind of jolted forward a little bit and caught her. And caught hers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right, so like we said, we're swinging from that right side and coming, like, again, in that kind of like that diagonal of the figure 8 to the left, where now the rope is going to swing to the left side, back and around, where I'm going to keep that figure 8 motion going, back to the right, back to the left, back to the right, as the rope continues to swing around my sides.
So as you know, with figure 8s, you know, there's circles, right? So with her arms starting out at her belly button, her arms are going to go down towards her hip, her right hip. That's what she's saying. And then they come around in a circular motion. And with
kind of
that,
up to the shoulder.
Yeah, up to the shoulder area. And that motion right there is what's going to circle the rope, and then from that right shoulder is going to then dip down towards her left shoulder. So she's making a direct dip down towards the left hip, actually.
Yeah.
Not the left shoulder, but down towards the left hip. And then circle it around
Up to the shoulder.
up to the left shoulder, and then back down towards the right hip, cutting across the belly button line. So it's like cutting your torso in half and circling. That's what's going to make the rope circle. So go ahead and do it a little faster for them, just so they can see the arcing motions of it.
And also the elbows are gonna move a little bit from the sides. Like if I'm moving toward my left hip, my right elbow is gonna come like a little bit in front of me, but my left elbow is still by my side.
Yeah, your
Vice
elbows
versa
are gonna
when I
move
switch.
a little bit. They're gonna shift like frontwards and backwards, kind of like a twist. You're gonna feel it in your core a little bit, you know, especially in your obliques. But
just try to keep them as close
keep them as close as you
But
can.
know that it's okay if they're moving a little bit. So, our slightly faster version. Left, right, left, right, left, right. So I'm trying to keep my core tight as I'm doing this. It's okay to move a little bit left and right.
Now your shoulders are probably going to move too a little bit, just because of course you're going right and left and right and left and stuff like that. You know, this is really going to work out your upper body. As we said, this is going to hit those shoulders, that back, that core, those arms and stuff like that. You know, but making sure the biggest thing is the figure 8 motion, you know, so you're circling that rope, circling the rope. That's what's going to help keep that, I guess you could say, that motion, you know, and from there, of course,
once we kind of
I'm sorry,
get it down, go faster.
I'm like, that was me.
Like we said, bringing that grip, strengthening that grip, so as we go faster, we have to hold on to the grips a little tighter. Slow down.
Now, of course, remember what we said in basic balance. You control the rope. Don't let the rope control you. So making sure you're controlling that rope, even in your wrist. You don't have to keep your wrist locked in place, honestly. Like, I don't do it with my wrist locked as much, but I'm using my wrist to control the arc of the rope in the case of, okay, how it's twirling, going left and right. And I'm using, of course, my wrist to direct the rope where I want it to go. You know, so make sure you keep that in mind. You know, I think Rebecca, you know, do you keep your wrist locked a little bit more? Like,
I'm a little bit more locked in my wrist, but they do move a little bit.
yeah, it's going to naturally move a little bit just because of, like she said, especially when you start whipping it faster, like that's just naturally going to, that's just naturally what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, you're just naturally going to just, you know, wrists are going to move, but you keep these as tight as you can as far as your wrist motion. Make sure you keep that tight, but even if it does start moving a little bit, make sure you control that and you direct the rope. Feel it out, you know, control that. Make sure you're going in that motion.
Make that rope work with you.
Yeah, honestly, it took Rebecca a while to get this down. Like, it took her a while to master this one. So, because she just could not understand the arcing of the rope.
I had the rope flying everywhere.
Just everywhere. And, like, it wasn't going in that motion, you know. And, of course, as you get comfortable with this, you know, y'all learn later on down the way, you know, there are advanced versions of side swings that can be done, but foundationally, this is where it all begins. Remember, we're working on foundation here.
Yep.
So this is the beginner move. This is the beginning of it. And you can get a great workout and a burn with this move right here.
Seriously.
And like we mentioned, this is a great move to just put in between, like, okay, I need a break. You know, you can stop and
just side swing it.
Side swing it. This will help keep that heart rate up, or, you know, practice going from basic balance into the side swing, from alternate foot into the side swing.
And that's actually a good segue into a way to elevate the side swing just a little bit. Like I said, there was a couple of ways that you can go into side swings. I started out with the rope in front of me, but instead I can start out with the rope behind me. Like, again, just if you wanted to start out from not jumping, just from a standstill, you know, get in your stance with the rope behind you, you can do a swing, and then whip it to either side. I whip it to the right, but you can always start on the left. That's perfectly fine. And really, once you've gotten that mastered, you can even try jumping first and jumping into the side swing. I'm going to demonstrate just a few basic bounces into the side swing. So.
I'm over here, so.
Yeah, just a few jumps. I'm gonna stop, reset my feet, keep my core tight, and get into my side swing. Just like that.
So yeah, you just practice going from one to the other, you know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, there you go.
Nice and simple.
Like, I want to say it is as easy as that, because honestly, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
Like, it isn't easy, but you know, you guys, you are here for the long haul. You know, you've invested in this course for a reason, and you're here to learn jump rope mastery and build on top of that. And as we mentioned, this move it's going to take some time, especially once you start getting it faster. You know, you can start out slowly, just easy going through the motions and stuff like that. But once you start building it up and really start whipping it, y'all saw how fast Rebecca was going with it. Like,
And you can even go faster.
yeah, I think my in-laws, they were calling them grass cutters because
Right? They can cut your grass.
yeah, because you can cut some grass with this one, you know what I'm saying? And with some weed whackers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, good workout and get the lawn trimmed.
Exactly. But no, yeah, really be careful with this one because you can smack yourself, you know, pretty good.
Get a lot of speed in there.
And not only just get a lot of speed in there, if you're not controlling the rope can come around and hit you in the head. Like, I'm just speaking from experience with that. You know, when I've been working on a lot of my jump rope variations of a lot of these moves and stuff like that, especially when it comes to the side swings and variations that I have and stuff, like, when you're not controlling the rope can literally just come around and just hit you right in the head. So yeah.
It's very important to get the form down first. Really feel it out, really master that form before you try to speed things up.
Form is everything. Form is everything, honestly. And
we're gonna make sure you know that every single jump.
Yep. Before you can speed up, make sure you get the jump. Bars. Yeah, but just to recap, guys, like we always do, the benefits of this is great conditioning in your upper body. You know, it helps with your grip strength, with hand and foot coordination. It helps with balance, and of course, as we said, if you don't have feet, if you're just sitting in a wheelchair, you know, you can still get a great jump rope workout with this one. This is a great move to do if you're not comfortable with jumping yet. You can start out with this one right here. This one is great. Get a great workout. I'm like, there's a lot of greats, but like, no, seriously, I don't know any other word that's better other than great.
True.
You know, it's good. You know, it's great, fantastic, awesome. You know, and as far as the how-to, remember, elbows in tight.
Rope in front of you.
The grips are together right now, but you know, your fingers, personally, you know, I kind of like have my fist balled up and then my fingers are touching and the rope is right there in front of your belly button. It's going to make a good cut down to your right hip, up to the right shoulder, and then back down in a diagonal to the left hip and then up to the left shoulder. And then back down.
Movement.
Yeah, and then just keep that movement
keep a wider
going.
stance too.
Keep it going. Yep. And of course, widen your stance, because once you start whipping this, like, it's going to pull you this way, that way, this way, that way. And when I say this way, that way, this way, that way, blind and visually impaired people, I'm going right, left, right, left, right, left. It may even pull you forward.
Forward, backwards, diagonal.
It may even pull you forward. Yeah, honestly, because it does whip behind you. So it may even pull you backwards. Because this, you may not think this is a move that's going to pull you every which way, but when you start whipping this rope, it's going to start pulling you every which way. It's just like if you're jump roping through the rope with the basic balance. This is still a move that should not be taken lightly, and you can still get hurt with it. Because as I mentioned, if you're not controlling the rope, it can come right around you and hit you in the head. It can hit you in the back. It can slap you.
Be careful. Master that form. Keep that core tight. Core is important. We're making some abs over here.
Yep. It is a great core workout, honestly.
It's a great core workout.
It is a great core workout. Now, make sure, of course, how you build on top of this one is just making sure you're holding the form, honestly, and keeping the wrist in control of the rope. Don't let the rope control you. You control the rope. Because if you can control the rope from here, with this move especially too, you should be able to control it when it's out beside you, doing basic bounce and everything else. But of course, by this point, since you got through basic bounce and alternate foot, you should be able to control the rope So you should know how to utilize your wrist to make sure this rope is going around you, and make sure you even use your body. You know, you can use the shoulders to kind of shift with it, 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 you know? So I'm kind of moving my hips a little bit. And so like right hip forward when it's going to the left, and then left hip forward going to the left.
There's some rotation.
You know, just getting some rotation in there. This is good for the rotational aspect of things. But of course and just going just like that. I mean, we're just kind of both flawed. We're just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't look like much right now, but you saw Rebecca or heard Rebecca demonstrating it. This
Really
is,
get that
you gotta really get the motion down. So you can then flow with it, you know, and then just start picking it up a little bit, make sure the rope is just going, and I wouldn't, like I said, go too fast yet. Just make sure the rope is going and you're controlling it at a slow tempo, slow speed with your wrist, especially, you know, because then once you start whipping it, yeah, it all goes, all starts going crazy. Yep, exactly.
You'll feel it.
Check out some of our workouts where it is just side swings, guys. You know, y'all can see what to work up towards and what you're building towards at the same time. And go to the workout area and practice the transition, kind of like Rebecca mentioned, from behind you jumping, side swinging into the jump, you know, basic balance into the side swings, and then alternate foot into the side swings. You know, this is what we have the workouts for, just so you can practice your moves and keep on working and building up your jump rope mastery.
Yep.
So, anything else to add?
Nah, I think we gave y'all a lot of information. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us about anything. We're here to help you.
Yeah, and that's what the community is for as well, guys. You know, we are here for you, and we thank you always for allowing us to be on your jump rope journey, you know, and choosing us as your jump rope mastery coaches. And shoot, honestly, we'll see you in your next video. Master this move, continue on climbing and going, and here we go.
And
let's keep jumping, y'all. Boom!